all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Cycle on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Jumai Manson. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Now the news in full. A fraction of the People's Democratic Party, led by its chairman, Taminu Taraki, has held a closed-door meeting with the former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, at his residence inside the Olusegun Obasanjo Presidential Library in Abeokuta, Ogun State. Among those present were former Niger State Governor Muazu Babangida Aliyu, former Plateau State Governor Jonah Jang, and other senior PDP figures. Details of the conversations were not disclosed, though the meeting comes amid ongoing realignment within the PDP and recalls Obasanjo's previous high-level engagements with party leaders ahead of past presidential primaries. Meanwhile, the leadership crisis within the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has entered a new phase as a fractional National Working Committee chaired by Taminu Turaki convened a high-profile meeting in Abuja with national ex-officio members, National Assembly members, and other party stakeholders. And the engagements are aimed at stabilizing the opposition party structures ahead of 2027 general election. Our political correspondent, Obong Usoro, tells us more.
The Turaki-led PDP National Working Committee held a strategic meeting with a broad cross-section of party leaders, including ex-official members, National Working Committee members, and the National Assembly caucus, to discuss the way forward for the opposition party. The gathering comes amid deepening internal disagreement over party leadership following last month's controversial national convention in Ibadan, which produced Turaki and other NWC members for a 4-year tenure. Turaki described the consultations as crucial to strengthening party's cohesion and preparing for electoral competition in 2027.
We are going to take this party back to the people. So if we are going to take this party back to the owners, who are Nigerian people.
Speaking to key stakeholders, Turaki reiterated that the series of engagements, which include discussion with state chairmen and party ex-official members, affirmed the legitimacy and acceptance of his leadership.
At any point in time, you will be in a position in your own right to represent this party and to tell anybody who may need to know what the party is doing, what actually we are doing.
The Turaki-led NWC has continued to reinforce its position. In a recent development, the party issued formal certificates of expulsion to several key figures, including Nyesom Wike, Ayodele Fayose, and Samuel Anyanwu, over alleged anti-party activities, signaling a hardline stance from the incumbent leadership. Ubong Usoro for Global Television News.
Has again dismissed claims of a Christian or Muslim genocide in Nigeria, insisting that insecurity in the country is driven by criminality, extremism, and socio-economic factors, not religious persecution. The president made this clarification in Abuja while declaring open the 8th Biennial Conference and Annual General Meeting of the Nasrullah Al-Fatih Society. Tinubu, who was represented by the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Lateef Fagbemi, said Nigeria's strength lies in its diversity and long history of peaceful coexistence among citizens of different faiths, despite current security challenges. Moving on, Nigeria and Finland have reaffirmed their commitment to strengthening bilateral relations following a high-level meeting between Nigeria's Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Donoma Omar Ahmed, and Finland's ambassador to Nigeria, Sana Selin. The meeting held in Abuja focused on cooperation in digital infrastructure, cybersecurity, internal security, technology, renewable energy, agriculture, healthcare, sustainable mining, and multilateral engagement. Finland also announced plans to establish a trade office in Lagos, while Nigeria pledged support for initiatives that promote innovation, security, and sustainable development. The Joint Health Sector Unions and Assembly of Healthcare Professional Associations have vowed to continue their ongoing indefinite strike unless the federal government meets their demands. National Secretary of the unions, Martin Egbenubi, said the strike, which began on November 15, 2025, was triggered by the government's failure to implement the adjusted consolidated health salary structure and address welfare concerns. And the unions accused successive administrations of neglecting salary disparities and systematic issues affecting health workers across the country. The Nigerian Immigration Service has alerted passport applicants and members of the public to expect temporary disruptions on its passport digital platform as it begins scheduled system maintenance. According to a public notice shared on its X handle and signed by the Service Public Relations Officer, Assistant Comptroller of Immigration, Akinlabi, the maintenance will run from December 12 to December 14, 2025. The agency said the exercise is designed to optimize system efficiency and enhance user experience. The federal government said it is intensifying bold reforms to ensure that no Nigerian is denied health care due to the cost, distance, or lack of services. This renewed assurance came from the Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Mohammed Partey, as Nigeria joined the global community to mark Universal Health Coverage Day 2025. Over now to Zarau Nasiru. She has details.
At the ministerial press briefing in Abuja, stakeholders across the health sector, national agencies, international partners, and development organizations converged to assess Nigeria's performance and future priorities on the long road to universal health care. The Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Muhammad Ali Fati, noted that while countries around the world still struggle to guarantee equitable access, Nigeria is responding with coordinated system reforms aimed at strengthening primary health care, improving insurance coverage, and expanding essential services. He highlighted findings from the 2025 Citizens' Perception Survey, which indicate a growing public confidence in the Nigerian health sector, an improvement he attributes to ongoing reforms. The minister urged all actors to intensify efforts to deliver quality, affordable health care.
In 2025 Citizens Survey, the confidence that this government considers public opinion in health system decisions increased from 42% to 47% between the 2 years. The trajectory of the health system, more than 55% endorse the trajectory of the health system. It tells you that our citizens are endorsing the direction. We feel even more.
The organization's representative, Dr. Faibal Orsu, emphasized the urgent need for stronger financial protection mechanisms to shield vulnerable groups out of pocket payments.
We are calling the governments, local authorities, state authorities, communities, private sector to invest in health, to really allocate more resources, prepaid resources for health services as a measure to address the out-of-pocket spending. The evidence is saying that more resources are allocated through domestic channels to health.
This year's Universal Health Coverage Day is themed on affordable health costs. We are sick, a call to action for countries to remove financial barriers and promote accessible, people-centered health systems. As Nigeria renews its pledge to rebuild a healthier, more resilient nation, stakeholders see the real test lies in sustaining reforms that guarantee not just access but equity, quality, and protection for all. Zahra Nasr, reporting for Global TV News.
Away from health stories now, the Imo State Police Command has demolished an illegal mortuary uncovered in Umehu community along the Owerri-Aba Expressway. Now, the facility is suspected to be used for storing mutilated corpses linked to an organ harvesting operation. The State Commissioner of Police, Aboki Danjuma, says security operatives are intensifying efforts to arrest the alleged operator, Stanley Okparago, also known as Morocco, who remains at large. Our correspondent, Amarachi Ibe, reports.
Days after the Imo State Police Command uncovers the illegal mortuary in Umechim, Umuhu community, A joint team of security personnel and state officials returned to the site. Led by the Commissioner of 10 bodies are evacuated from the mortuary for mass burial.
We are going to wait for some days for...
The Commissioner for Health, Dr. Chioma Egu, knows that the mortuary explains that the check by her ministry shows up to
the rest of the corpses out of here
and commended the state government for intervening.
So when we made the announcement, we noticed that they started evacuating some corpses. I got some calls from their relatives. I got some calls from some of the indigenous of this local government who came to say that they have their relatives lodged here.
Security agency says the operation continues as efforts intensify to dismantle criminal hideouts across the state and apprehend those responsible. From Owerri, Amarachi Ibe reporting for Global TV News.
Now, in an effort to bridge the digital divide between urban and rural communities in Nigeria, the Center for Information School of Community Networks.
School of Community Networks, an initiative aimed at strengthening digital access, promoting community-based networking, and advancing digital rights, especially in underserved rural parts of Nigeria.
The purpose for the school is to produce people who would have skill and knowledge to be able to design and deploy community network infrastructure in their communities. So the areas where there are no connectivity, as we know there are many places that are lacking connectivity, they can deploy community network structure.
5 years later, the initiative has produced a new batch of graduates, 16 youth, trained and equipped with vital skills in digital networking, with the aim of boosting connectivity and local digital participation in their respective communities.
We deliberately brought these students together, first to equip them with the basic skills that, one, they need to have community engagement until and unless the community realizes that they deserve maybe a local solution to bridge this connectivity gap. And this can only happen when the community makes some certain contribution.
According to CTAD, while Nigeria holds a vast digital and economic potential, lack of youth empowerment, particularly in rural areas, has widened the digital gap. The School of Community Networks is one of the CTAD's responses to this challenge.
In the rural areas, most importantly, as the School of Community Network is driving towards contributing towards improving, reducing the digital divide between the rural and urban areas. We're all aware that now at least all transactions, even the Kikina PEF and whoever is involved in buying or selling, almost everyone that you look around, you see that he use one way or the other, or pay, Monopoint, Momo. It's just give me your number, give me your identity.
CTAD believes that with the training such as this, communities once cut off from the digital world will begin to reap the benefits of connectivity, especially in education, communication, and local economic growth. From Kano, Idris Jibrin, Global Television News.
Every week in every corner of the world, millions of Muslims gather for one reason: Jum'ah, the Friday prayer. More than a ritual, it is a moment of unity, reflection, and spiritual renewal. But what makes Friday so important?
Friday is not just the end of a work week. In Islam, it is the most blessed day. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "The best day on which the sun has risen is Friday." On this day, Muslims, Jumu'ah replaces the regular Dhuhr prayer and comes with unique blessings that no other prayer carries. It is an obligation for both. Beyond obligation, there are deeper meanings.
In Islam, all the prayers are equal because in every day we have 5 daily prayers. So Jumu'ah stand on the position of prayer number 1 on the day.
In Jumu'ah, all Muslims stand side by side, rich and poor, old and young, as just believers worshiping their Lord together. It strengthens community ties and reminds us that in the eyes of God, we are.
But the attendance of the special Jumu'ah at mosque is very, very significant.
The Friday sermon is a powerful moment. It educates, it warns, it uplifts, it guides people through both spiritual and social issues, from morality to justice, from charity to family life. The khutbah is not just a speech, it is a weekly lesson for the soul.
Khutbah is one of the requirements of the Jumu'at prayer. So it is very, very important. In fact, it is the khutbah that will address the entire congregation to tell them what to do.
Qualities the modern world desperately needs. Beyond spiritual rewards, Jumu'ah strengthens society, it boosts charity, encourages kindness, builds relationship, and resolves community disputes. For many, prayer is more than a ritual. It is a weekly gift, a source of peace, a reminder of purpose, and a doorway to divine mercy. So, when Friday arrives, let your footsteps lead you to the mosque. Let your hearts open to the khutbah, and let your soul find rest in the remembrance of Allah. Sadia Yakubu, reporting for Global Television News. Truly matters. It teaches discipline.
You are watching the live broadcast of News Cycle. When News Cycle returns, Nigeria's crude oil output rises by 35,000 barrels per day. Details coming shortly, plus foreign and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us. You're welcome back with us. In business now, Nigeria's crude oil production rose by 35,000 barrels per day in November 2025, reaching 1,436 million barrels per day, according to December OPEC monthly oil market report. Despite the increased production remains below Nigeria's OPEC quota of 1.5 million barrels per day, marking the fourth consecutive month the country has missed its target. The improvement was attributed to enhanced upstream security and operational optimization, even as the government seeks a higher production quota. The Federal Executive Council has approved 3 major public-private partnership projects valued at over 6.43 trillion naira, signaling another significant wave of private sector investment into Nigeria's infrastructure landscape. Now, the projects for 2 deep seaports and a 460 megawatt hydropower plant from the second batch of PPP initiatives cleared by the Council within 1 month, underscoring President Bola Tinubu's push for private capital as a driver of growth under the Renewed Hope agenda. The approval has announced in a statement released by the Director General of the Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission, Jobson Ewelefo. On the foreign news now, Senegal has suspended all extraditions to France, accusing Paris of failing to cooperate on its own extradition request involving Senegalese nationals. Justice Minister Yassine Fall announced the decision while addressing Parliament in Dakar, saying Senegal would withhold the extradition of 12 individuals wanted by France until French authorities respond favorably to requests for 2 Senegalese citizens currently in France. And the move follows France's decision to postpone a ruling on the extradition of Senegalese media mogul Madibol Daniel, despite an existing 2021 extradition agreement between both countries. A new analysis by the World Health Organization, WHO, has reaffirmed that there is no link between vaccines and autism, contrary to theories being propagandized in the United States. WHO Director General Tedros Ghebreyesus says this is the 4th such review of the evidence following.
Last month, revised its website with language that undermines its previous scientifically grounded position that immunizations do not cause the developmental disorder autism. Years of research demonstrate that there is no causal link between vaccinations and autism or other neurodevelopmental disorders. Yet, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., America's health chief, has long voiced anti-vaccine rhetoric and inaccurate claims connecting the two. However, WHO's Ghebreyesus told a press conference in Geneva that autism is not a side effect of vaccines.
Vaccines are among the most humankind. Vaccines save lives from about 30 different diseases, including measles, cervical cancer, malaria, and more. Like all medical products, vaccines can cause side effects, which WHO monitors, but autism is not a side effect of vaccines.
A purported connection between the measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine and autism stems from a flawed study published in 1998, which was retracted for including falsified data.
In 1998, a study was published in The Lancet that purported to show a link between vaccines and autism spectrum disorders. The study was later shown to be fraudulent and retracted, but the damage had been done, and the idea has never gone away.
Tedros stated that over the past 25 years, under 5 mortality has plunged by more than half, from 11 million deaths a year to 4.8 million, with vaccination being a major reason behind the drop. Uyi Agmofwegbe reporting for Global TV News.
In sports news now, Nigeria has formally submitted a bid to host the 2031 African Games, nearly 3 decades after successfully staging the 2003 edition. The bid was presented to the African Union Sports Council during high-level engagements by Sports Administrator Mensaro Ilu on behalf of Nigerian Sports Commission. Officials cited Nigeria's proven capacity to host major continental competitions and the economic impact generated by recent international sporting events. So on Sports Story, Nigerian Football Federation (NFF) has announced sweeping reforms aimed at improving national team performance. This followed its executive committee meeting in Abuja. The NFF confirmed advanced preparations for the Super Eagles ahead of the 2025 African Cup of Nations in Morocco. It approved quality friendlies for the Super Falcons ahead of the 2026 Women's African Cup of Nations. The Federation also vowed tougher sanctions against poor officiating, new regulations for football academics, and progress on infrastructure progress under FIFA Forward 3.0. Now that's it on News Cycle. A quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen by using @GlobalTVNG. I am Jumai Manson. Thank you for watching. Good evening.